if the rates are really high, prices are depressed, we can get into the house at a high rate, and then we just wait for rates to come down, and then we refi out of it, because we can lock in those low rates for 30 years. You don't have that same advantage on multifamily, right? I think it's 5 years max you can lock in your rate. Is that correct? Or
so yeah, there's a couple things you can do with multi. I actually, well, first of all, I always do fixed rate. So
okay.
But
can you do fixed for, like, how long can you do a fixed rate for on a multifamily?
So it just depends. Like, it depends on the loan, but you can do a fixed rate loan the whole term. But you might today we're getting 3-5 year interest only for the first 3 or 5 years, and so what you then, of course, you're now through the period of time where the principal kicks in, right? So you've got that, but I want certainty of my mortgage payment all the way down the line. So so that's one of the things that got a lot of people in trouble. You can't do that on new construction, because new construction's a floater, and a lot of people did those short-term rates, and so it took discipline to do fixed rate while you can get better pricing with floaters. And so
a lot of guys took these floaters, and now they're just
that goes back to delayed gratification. Right? The problem with today's mentality is everyone has that cocaine mentality. They want that quick fix. We're going to make all this money. We're banking on appreciate. Everything's going up, and all these young hustlers that are raising the capital say, "Oh, we're going to double our 20 million to 40." And when it shifts, they have no contingency plan. So you want to sleep at night. You pay a slightly higher rate, but it's fixed, and the exit.
And the real issue is, to your point, I want to know what my mortgage payment's going to be
in 6 years.
Yeah. Period. Yeah. Because I can manage my expenses.
Yeah.
To some extent, like property taxes, insurance, and all that kind of stuff. That's a whole nother animal. But I also know if I can keep the property full, and I'm subject to the market. But generally, especially heading into where we're heading now, we're going to see rent growth. So if I can do all that, and my biggest cost of the whole project is debt, by a long shot. So if I can fix that, and I know what that is every single month for the next 4 or 5 or 6 years, then I can work on everything above it. I can work on the expenses, I can work on the income, and the rents, and all that kind of stuff, and the other income, and the vacancy, and all the things that are up top that generate the real cash flow. Then now I've got something to work with. And on multi, there's a bunch of loan products where you can actually assume them.
Yeah.
So like right now, you can go find, I just saw a deal the other day come out 3.5 fixed, had like 7 or 8 years left on it or something. Wow. You can step into the shoes. Now, they want a premium, of course.
Yeah.
But HUD is another one where you can do fixed and you can do construction to perm. They also have a program where you can put new debt on without refinancing the first. So the commercial lenders have figured out a little more creative ways to be able to stay into stuff and so when I say today, I say if you can buy something today with today's rates, and it cash flows. If it goes up, you look like a hero.
Yeah.
If it goes down, you just keep refinancing on the way down, and you just keep scooping money out tax-free, and you just keep ratcheting the rate down. And so, I've been in this before. After 2008, we went through this, where our rates were, I'm going off of memory here, but I think we were in the 6s and 7s, and it would cash flow, and then they were in the 5s, and we refinance, and we're like, sweet.
Yeah.
Then they'd be in the 4s, and we refinance again, and then they got down into the 3s. So I've been through this before. The key is to make sure cash flows at today's rate.
Right.
Don't buy anything based on I think the future is going to be X.
And when you're doing those refinancings, you're pulling out that equity. That's not taxed, correct?
Right. Yeah.
That's a huge thing on your strategy because you're pulling it's debt.
It is our debt. We call it our infinite return. So let's say you guys give me $10 million on a $40 million deal or $30 million deal. Let's say $20 million of debt, 10 of equity. And I'm able to just, manage the heck out of it. And there's a story around it, and I can grow the value to 40, right? And this is not pie in the sky. This is something that we could do easy. Then I take the 40 back to the bank, and they give me, let's say, 75 LTV. All of a sudden, I'm paying back most of your equity at that point. So that's the entire plan. The entire plan is to find something broken, raise the money, pay a return, and then bring it back to the bank and do a cash out refi. At that point, really, I'm just returning your capital.
Yeah.
So obviously there's no tax on just giving your money back. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, it's also tax free because it's debt. I'm not selling. See, the IRS wants a piece of your flesh when you sell. So if you sell a house, you pay your capital gain. Mm-hmm. You sell an apartment building, you pay your capital gain. You sell anything, you pay a capital gain. But this is not selling. It's just, we call it, we have the technical term here, bites of the apple, right? We're taking another bite of the apple, right? 2, 3. We actually close Thursday of this week on another property, 276 units that I own in Flagstaff. It'll be my third refinance.
Wow.
And I've owned the property for over 15 years.
It's incredible.
So it's just like a cash machine, right?
I remember years ago, I sat down with a buddy of mine whose family was very wealthy, probably worth a few $100 million. And he said, Robert, you know what the rich people understand that the average American doesn't? I said, what?
Taxes.
No, he said debt. He said, the rich use debt. It's like the infinite money glitch. If you can use debt and make your money through debt, you never have to pay tax. And I didn't really understand it at the time, but now being in this space for so long, like strategies like this, you're just.
Well, I'll tell you, like I had to learn this too, because when you're going through school, you're like, debt is bad, right?
Yeah, like Dave Ramsey. What do you think of Dave Ramsey?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh,
no debt, zero debt.
I know. I have to laugh at that guy. Now,
he was on a podcast the other day. I listened to this clip. He went out on the podcast. And I think it was Graham Stephan was interviewing him, and Graham asked him, if I were to give you $1 billion loan at 0% interest, would you take it?
He said no.
He said no.
That's insane.
I know, dude. I know. I just was on Graham.
Like you could put it in T-bills and like
arbitrage.
He said no.
I can't.